Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Sydney from PhoneDoc.com, and I'm about to do a review for you guys of the Samsung Galaxy Exhilarate from AT&T. It's got a dual-core processor, a 4-inch Super AMOLED display, and it's an LTE phone, but the cool thing is that it's only $50 on contract, which is a pretty awesome price for a phone like this. So I'm going to do a review, tell you guys about it. Before we start that, I have to say special thanks to our friends at Best Buy Mobile. They send us the phones that we add to our One Paw Bandit game. One of the nice things about Best Buy Mobile is that when you buy a phone from them, you don't have to worry about rebates because the price on the tag is a price you pay. Underneath the hood here, you've got a 1.2 gigahertz dual-core Qualcomm Snapdragon S3 processor. So S3 is pretty good. You know, the latest and greatest that we're seeing is the S4 processor, and that's in US versions of the Galaxy S3. And that's an awesome processor. So taking just a step down to the S3, you can imagine you're still going to get pretty good performance. Dual-core processor, you've got a gig of RAM to go along with that. And so, we'll do a quick quadrant standard test, and then I'll also tell you some other scores that I've from other tests that I've done. Overall performance has been great. I've been testing it with gaming, web browsing, little to no lag. I mean, it's not perfect. There are times when, it kind of stutters just a little bit, or maybe an app maybe takes just a couple of seconds to load. So it's not perfect and it's not seamless, but honestly, it's great. I mean, it's nothing to complain about. You're going to get near perfect performance, and I think, for this caliber device, it's just got great performance. Gaming was also great on it. I downloaded Temple Run, which is one of those games, I don't know about you guys, but Temple Run is a game where I notice some lag on slower devices. And so it was a good test. I used it and it was seamless. Areas where I noticed lag while using another device, it was perfect on the Galaxy Exhilarate. So performance has been good, pinch to zoom, everything has been pretty smooth. So we'll wait for this test to finish and then we'll see what score we get. Okay, so the score here is 2,573. I've done a test before where it got about 2,900, almost 3,000. That was, of course, when I first got the phone and I hadn't really been using it at all. But 2,573, so you can kind of see decent phone. It's right up there with the Galaxy Nexus and the Galaxy Tab, the Atrix. Again, some other still good phones on the market. So you can kind of get an idea of what performance will be like. So just a couple more scores here on this benchmark. We've got a score of 5,408. And then on the LinPack test with a single thread test, we've got 38 inflops in 2.19 seconds. And on a multi-thread test, we've got 60.7 inflops in 2.78 seconds. Just a couple of scores there to give you guys an idea of what performance will be like. So let's move on now to data. Now, I mentioned earlier that the Galaxy Exhilarate is an LTE device running on AT&T's LTE 4G network, and to be honest, I've had quite a few problems with AT&T's network while testing the Exhilarate, and I'm pretty sure it's the network and not the phone, because I have another AT&T LTE phone that I'm testing right now, and I'm having the exact same problems. I've had just connection issues the whole time. It's in and it's out, it's on, it's not on. And so right now I'm connected to Wi-Fi simply because I just can't keep a steady connection. And so if we go over to the results, you can see I've done a few tests here on AT&T's 4G network, but I haven't been able to do very many because I can't ever get a consistent time where I have a connection long enough for it to actually complete a test. So while there has been a connection, speeds have been pretty good. I've had highs of nearly 14 megabits per second for downloads, and then 10 megabits per second for uploads, which is also pretty good. The average is about 12, as you can see, 12, 13. But yeah, again, I just haven't really had a consistent connection. So speeds have been good. This may just be a problem with AT&T's network. Maybe it'll be fixed within the next couple of weeks. I'm testing it in the Dallas area. Like I said, I've had another phone that's had the same problem. So those are my results for data, but again, keep in mind things like data speeds and call quality. That's really going to depend on coverage in your area. But hopefully coverage in your area is better than it is in my area, because AT&T's network has been giving me problems. we go over to the web browser and we'll go to phonedog.com. Again, solid performance all the way around by this phone so far. That dual-core processor does a really great job. You can see I have all plugins turned on right now, so all of these ads are going to load. You can see them loading right there. And then a couple more plugins right here, and scrolling is perfectly smooth. Pinch to zoom, also very smooth. Very few problems. I mean, you know, minor checkerboarding, as you saw. So, you know, that's what I was talking about earlier. I mean, it's not completely perfect, but really, it's pretty good, you know, when you consider, again, what you're paying for it. We'll go to an article here and see this load. So web browsing has been great. You know, again, it's great as long as I have a connection, and hopefully this is something that AT&T can work out pretty quickly. But while I've been on Wi-Fi, at least, pages load fairly quickly, probably because I'm on Wi-Fi. But you know, even pinch to zooming is pretty quick. As you can see, you know, rendering it to the window once you zoom in, that kind of takes a second, but transitions are pretty quick. So web browsing has been pretty good on the device, and data speeds have also been good as long as I have a connection. But still, getting an LTE device for $50 to get a contract, I'm going to mention that price again. It's a really great bargain. It's a really great deal. Now the phone on the back here has a 5-megapixel camera, autofocus, LED flash, a couple of extras like panorama, smile detection, scene modes, timer. It does have a front-facing camera, so you can use that. It's a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera. You can use that for video chatting. It also captures 720p HD video. I'll have to say I have been very impressed by the camera, and I'll show you some pictures here. Just starting with some outside shots. It's very clear, and of course the color saturation is great. You can see these reds and the greens. They show up very well, but also the clarity is just great. It just looks great. Here's a picture of a close-up. The focus, you know, focusing on this one object, does a great job of doing that. You know, it seems like a given, but not every phone does that very well. And so the picture quality has been great. Again, these are outside shots, so lighting is perfect. Once we go inside, you know, it's kind of hit or miss because you never really know what inside lighting is going to be like. And so there's times when it's great and the picture shows up pretty well, and then in low light settings it's, you know, maybe not so great. But overall, I've been very impressed by the camera. Very clear. The colors show up very well. When you have good lighting, it looks excellent. And then even in low light settings, you know, some of these are low light settings and you can't even tell it's really that dark because the picture still came out very well. So very impressed by the camera. Now again, it does capture HD video. The quality on that I wasn't as impressed with. You know, it could have used some help in terms of detail. Audio sounded pretty good, but you know, HD video quality, it was kind of lacking. You know, detail could have been better, but still, it was fairly decent. And then still, picture quality was excellent, really. So lastly, we'll talk a little bit about the battery and pop off the battery cover here. The phone ships with a 1750 milliamp hour battery. Samsung estimates that you should get about 7 hours of talk time and 10 days of standby time. Now this is all going to vary depending on your usage habits, so it's hard for me to say exactly what you're going to get or what battery life is going to be like. I will say that when running battery tests, the phone actually lasted about 11 hours with the test, meaning it was under heavy use, you know, for 11 hours straight. And so 11 hours compared to the 7 hours that Samsung says you should get, that's pretty good. And so you should be able to get through a full day of use. You know, if you imagine a 12-hour day, you know, until you go to bed, you should be able to get through that easily, because even with heavy use, you know, constant use, 11 hours, and you're not going to be using it constantly. So I imagine you get through a full day of use. You'll probably have to charge it every night, but 11 hours of constant heavy use for an LTE phone, that's pretty good. And so I was very impressed by the battery life. So there it is, guys, the Samsung Galaxy Exhilarate from AT&T, right now $50 on contract, and it is one of the best phones that you can get at this price or in this price range from AT&T. AT&T has another phone, the Pantech Burst, that's kind of similar, very inexpensive, about $50, and the same specs, you know, dual core processor, LTE. So that's another good option, but the Galaxy Exhilarate is definitely, you know, one of your best options if you're on a budget. Snapdragon dual core processor, 4-inch Super AMOLED display, LTE. It's the whole package and it's got a great price. So I would definitely recommend it. Check it out at your AT&T store if you want to see more, get some more hands-on time with it. But there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm Sydney from PhoneDog.com, and keep it on PhoneDog.com for more news, updates, and reviews. And I will see you guys later. Bye.